Trump really doesn't have a plan?
Okay, you want talks. Lift the sanctions on Iran, pay for the war reparations and reparations for damage done by previous U.S. administrations as well, and give us sovereignty. Here's the big one. Give us, Iran, sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz.
So Trump also said, speaking of the Strait of Hormuz, that Iran has agreed to let 20 cargo ships carrying oil go through that key strait. He calls it a sign of progress. Is it really a sign of progress?
When Donald Trump is talking about talks with the Iranian regime, it raises the question of exactly with whom is he talking? He talked about, wiping out the previous regime. There are all these different people now who he says are much more reasonable. But the Iranian regime, for its part, says there are no talks with the U.S. going on. Donald Trump needs to make it look like his talks with these, quote, more reasonable people behind the scenes in the Iranian regime are somehow bearing fruit and leading the Iranians to basically allow, because of Trump's diplomatic and deal-making abilities, to allow 20 oil-carrying cargo ships to go through the Strait of Hormuz. What do we know about this? Yeah, Iran has apparently agreed to let 20 ships pass through. It did so last week as well. I think it allowed 10 ships to pass through as well. Where are these ships headed? We don't know. They might be headed to China. They might be headed somewhere else. We just don't know. Maybe Gulf nation. Is it because of Donald Trump putting pressure on them or some concession in talks that are happening but not happening? We have absolutely no idea.
If we talk about Brent, the market is not pricing in the amount of the disruption. There is a real physical disruption. Look, Hormuz, if the closure of Hormuz, if you add it all together, it's 20 million barrels a day of oil and products together. All the other strategic petroleum reserves, Russian barrels unsanctioned, all Saudi pipelines, if you add it all up, you maybe get to 10, 11 if you're positive. So you're 9 to 10 million barrels short. That's unprecedented.
Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law, the go-to people with no real, political experience to do all of his other peace missions. They are absolute non-starters with the Iranian regime. They are seen by the Iranians as being staunch advocates of Iran's biggest enemy right now, Israel. So they can't hold negotiations with Witkoff and Kushner, who had been touted, perhaps JD Vance, because he's been more on the record as being against forever wars, not being fully on board with this war, at least early on. So he was seen as perhaps more palatable. But so far, the Iranians have given no signs of being ready to talk.